I love fog as a metaphor for so many different things in life. But for this build more than just a body mini-sode, I want to share how it can be such a powerful tool for goal setting and achieving those goals. Now, when we think about our goals, our big vision, sometimes it can get overwhelming thinking of all the things that have to get done or how far we have left to go or what else needs to be accomplished that we forget or we deter ourselves from focusing on the next best step. I went for a run this morning, and as I was running, I was reminded of how much I love running in the fog because all I can see is a certain distance ahead of me. Now, I know there's always going to be more road to run ahead, but I can only see as far as I can see, as far as the fog allows me to see. And that always motivates me to keep going because I love to focus on visual cues. And you know what's interesting is I actually learned recently that one of the best marathon runners, when she was asked, "How do you do it? What do you do?" She's like, "I just focus on the next target, essentially." And I love that. And there's actually a lot of research on how focusing on, one thing at a time, focusing on the target ahead, focusing on the tangible actually supports us in the achievement of our goals. And there's a lot of stuff that goes into obviously success, but this is just one of the examples I'd like to provide is how we can actually use this to our advantage. Now, I want to apply this metaphor to goal setting and life in general. So imagine the fog is a blanket over the big vision, right? So when you go out and you run in the sun or you go for a walk and it's sunny and it's clear and you can see everything around you, buildings, mountains, grass, whatever it is, you can see it all around you. Your mind can be occupied by a lot of those different visual cues. When there's fog, there's this huge blanket over everything except for what's right in front of you. And one of my favorite quotes is, "You can't hit a target you can't see." This fog embankment allows us to only focus on what's right ahead, which reinforces one of my major beliefs of always taking the next best step. And sometimes, like I said before, that can be overwhelming when we have this huge vision. Sometimes that big vision can feel intangible. It can feel very difficult to achieve, like it'll never happen. But if we put some fog over that big vision and just focus on as far as we can see and make a tangible visual cue of getting there, we can get there with more ease and less distraction and also a feeling of less overwhelm. So it can be very fulfilling. It can come a lot, like I said, easier. So for the sake of these minisodes being short and sweet, if you want more resources or want to see some research on this topic of goals and vision and success and visual cues, let me know and I'd be happy to send it to you. But it is something to consider. How can you take your big vision, put a blanket of fog over it, and just focus on the next target to make it tangible? Something you can run to, grab, and then look ahead and what's next. What can you see next? For me personally, on my run this morning, it just kept me going. And I find that that's often, even on a sunny day, I just try to focus on the next landmark, the next cue, the next, visual place I can get to. And on today's run, I couldn't see so far ahead. So I only went as far as I could see. And then again and again. However, I also know the streets pretty well. So I'd visualize what was beyond the fog. So I always kept that big vision in mind, but never at the expense of getting to the next place I needed to be in order to eventually get all the way through, right? So let's put the blinders on. Let's stay focused on our goals by creating tangible cues that we can go for. Tangible visual cues. Okay. So, like I said, if you guys want more resources on this or research, let me know. I'd be happy to share them with you. I think it's so interesting. I absolutely love psychology. I did not just get my degree in it to get my degree in it and call it a day. Like, I genuinely love it. I love reading the research. I love immersing in it. I love hearing more insights and seeing how it applies and connects to other things as well. And I really hope that you found this mini-sode insightful or helpful. And I'd love to hear from you how you plan to put fog over the big vision, knowing and trusting it's always there, just so you can remain focused on the target ahead. So let me know how you intend to do that. and let me know if there's a topic you'd like me to cover on the next Build More Than Just a Body mini-sode. So with that being said, I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, or morning, wherever you are in the world while you're listening to this episode. Just make it awesome.